The crew worldwide, from Cali to Twitter, real hardcore fans, boxing ass niggas, consistency cops, police the views, we'll pull up receipts for any debate you choose. Shout outs to Clan Archie for the dope production. Ring Gang stay with the best discussions.
Ring Gang Radio.
Oh man, but switch gears, we're gonna go to our second and final topic. This time, of course, this is non-boxing because, like I said, Ring Gang Radio, like it's sometimes, we have other interests outside of boxing, and sometimes it's related to boxing, but it's just the violence though. It's that's the only correlation to boxing. What we want to talk about is the Netflix show Wu Assassins. Came out, was it like last week or so, or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think about a week and a half ago,
Right. No,
relatively fresh.
Right. Now, typically, now obviously with anything with a cat from the Raid movies or whatever, in this case is Iko Uwais. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Obviously the star of the Raid movies. Those are automatic must-sees. It's a must-see because, frankly, like I said, Pankot Salat is like the new wave now. Just like Bruce Lee introduced Jeet Kune Do, or Chuck Norris popularized karate, or Steven Seagal introduced Aikido and all them damn wrist locks and shit.
Don the Dragon Wilson with the Taekwondo.
Yeah, exactly.
You old school. You remember them flicks.
Yeah. Or if you watched some Channel 5 movies, you did the highly choreographed like kung fu moves. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just like the Pankot Salat. It's like the thing now. It's like the martial art now, and it's spectacular because it's Pankot Salat. It's just a lot of it's a lot of hard blocks and a lot of it's what Krav Maga would be if it actually had some form to it, and actually had real instructors teaching it. Pankot Salat is a beautiful and brutal martial art to learn and to watch, and Iko Uwais is spectacular. I mean, the Raid movies are probably the best martial art movies we've seen in the last two decades or so. I mean, it's just spectacular. And
even the movie they started off in, Moranto, is a good movie. If you saw that movie first and then saw Raid, and you'll see the progression of him, and the style and how good and talented he is. So yeah, whenever you even see his name, you already got interest in that shit. You're like, okay, let me. It's like how I was saying, like a mystical verse.
Right.
Feature, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You in Best Buy or whatever, you turn the CD over, like, okay, all right, this nigga here. Oh, so Mystical on number 7 and number 12. All right.
Yeah,
First fucking 2 songs you listen to. That's what it is, and that's what we have with this guy right here.
Iko, yeah, he's like a version of a nigga blacking out on a verse. That's blacked out from beginning to end. That's exactly how that's the best way to describe him in hip hop terms. So we basically Wu Assassins, and obviously if I want to compare this to what it is, without spoiling it. It reminded me of a version of a warped version of Shazam. I think that's
wow.
probably I mean, the story wise, like honestly, that's how it that's what it reminded me of. Now, with some people, obviously, I mean, I know probably the big thing is like the story, and there are some plot holes, in there, but the fighting was spectacular. Although I did notice, LB, I think it was in some parts, in some of the scenes, like the fighting was slower because I think they're using like the American stuntmen or actors, and they might not be able to handle the actual speed like you'd see in the Raid movies.
Yeah. Go off, and me honestly, I feel like that was my biggest gripe with the series.
Which part were we talking about? The fighting or the story?
Kind of both. It's like the story's decent, but I don't feel like it was executed to where we should have saw. Like, it wasn't executed to the point where the story was amazing. Like, the story potential was amazing.
Right.
But I felt like it just played out average. And as far as like eco scenes, like, I feel like the series starts out promising.
Right.
The first 2 episodes, you're like, oh shit, okay. Like, yeah, I fucks with this. Then you kind of keep going. I think by the 4th episode, you're like, okay. But just somewhere along the line,
it starts getting a little bit too convoluted. I mean,
yeah, and it's like a lot going on, and then you got the fantasy element with the powers, which is
why I mentioned why it seemed like Shazam to me. Like, if you've seen Shazam the movie, you understand.
Yeah, of course, we had a review on that.
Right, exactly. So I mean, it's just like, like I said, the reason why it starts off, like, the story starts off like, oh yeah, he's this, he does this for a living, and then all of a sudden, bam, he has these powers. It's not.
They do explain how he gets it, and they do a good job of presenting the backstories and unfolding that, but it's done so over the course of so many episodes. You're kind of like, god damn, like, every time you turn it around, you're finally finding out about a character or something, and
right,
you should have known that by now, type of shit.
Like literally, like, you could have wasted an episode going through the backstory just to keep things moving. But yeah, it was stretched out over different, and it's like pieces, and not necessarily any real like in a chronological order. Like,
yeah, exactly. So that's why when he said convoluted story, I mean, you could follow it, but it's kind of like, damn, like, trim some of this shit a little bit.
Right, like, basically every episode has a purpose. So if you actually miss the episode, and if you missing an episode would be the equivalent of you giving yourself an actual plot hole and another plot hole in the series. And the series does have some plot holes in itself, even if you watch it, but you'll be intentionally getting lost in a plot hole if you miss an episode.
Yeah, it's too fucking many, and that's the thing. It's like, the show, it's like, you had good supporting characters.
Yeah, like, I mean,
I'll say that. Like, if y'all familiar with Vikings, they had Lagatha in there.
Yes, like, and like, I honestly, I didn't even know she got down. Like, I mean, Vikings is one of my favorite shows, man. Like, that show.
Yeah. And she's classic character on that show. So like on Vikings, she's easily a top 5 character on that show. I'll tell you that right now. Like,
facts.
And that's from since the series started.
Facts.
So, okay, you put Eco and you put her in a series, you're like, okay. Like, this could be something, and you get a glimpse of that in the beginning. But then it's like, they have a hard time executing good fight scenes to go with the story.
Right,
like a lot of the special effects for the powers is like mad cheesy, it don't look real, and that's the thing. If you're gonna do powers and shit, you want it to look authentic. You want it, you can't have YouTube shows, you can't have YouTube niggas having better special effects than you.
Facts.
When you're doing powers, like,
Exactly.
And that's what kind of hurts it. Like, the whole aspect of the powers that they have, like the earth elements and shit, is cool, but the way it's done, it's like, y'all could have made this look way better. And it suffers with the fights, and it suffers with Eco's performances, because it seems like the choreography takes a drop in the middle of the series.
Yes, although just to mention, not with Catherine Winnick, the the chick that played Queen Lagertha in Vikings. And something I didn't know, but she's actually she's like a black belt in like Taekwondo and karate, like 3rd degree, 2nd degree, whatever.
Yeah.
She's been
She's a legit fight. Like,
yeah, like she was giving me Cynthia Rothrock vibes. I was like, damn.
well, I wouldn't go that far, but
That's why I said vibes, bro. I didn't say she was like. I didn't say she was.
Rothrock. Yeah, I mean, like, hold on.
Cynthia Rothrock was the truth, but she was giving me a fight. But the fact that, because I think this is more special because I didn't know her martial art background from that. Like, her background, like, the way she was fighting, I was like, damn, like, even the cat who played Iron Fist in the Marvel TVs, man, should be ashamed of himself for seeing this shit.
You see, and that's another, I'm glad you brought that up. That's another show that had a convoluted story and you had powers. Although they did a little better job of showing the powers, they didn't really get that, they couldn't really express it in a good way until like near the end of the series.
Right, because the dude wasn't trained. He wasn't trained.
No, but even then, it's like the way his powers, the way it was shown, like him hitting the ground, like shit like that. That's what you should have seen like way earlier episodes.
Right.
And see, and that's the thing, is like, if you're gonna do powers, like you gotta do them accordingly. Like, you can't just, you're looking at the average person, when they look at a nigga with powers, there's certain shit that you're gonna expect people to do or see by now.
Right.
And they had that covered in the show. Like, you saw shit, okay, they're using this element the way it should be used, this element, that element, that's cool. But it's just the CGI of it, it didn't look all impressive, and they couldn't for some reason they couldn't present the powers and the fights in a way where it's like, damn, like I would even look at this, like, if you remember the Mortal Kombat movie, the first one.
Yeah.
You see, you had the fantasy elements, right? And it was dope.
Mm-hmm.
But it ran side by side with the fighting choreography.
Exactly.
Like, you legit had good fights in that movie.
Yeah, and it blended extremely well.
Yes, and it blended well with the fantasy elements, so everything looked on point. Like, you really felt like, okay, yeah, these niggas got powers, they doing this, they doing that. It didn't take you ain't just suspend belief type shit. Like, you don't feel like you're in a magical world. Like, you really feel like there's some earth shit going on, and niggas got some powers. Scorpion, Johnny Cage fight, Reptile, Liu Kang, all that shit played out, and you're like, okay, but yeah, fantasy element just lacking in this shit. Like, it's not executed well.
And then the fact that too, like I said, now Aiko is, like I said, he's a good martial artist, but with the material with that, sometimes it depends on the material to see if you can actually get, and sometimes something like that could be, I would say, like, surpassed, bypassed, or whatever, if the acting is strong. And Aiko's character was, it might be a material, it might be his acting ability, but he was not able to overcome that. So it made things kind of dull on that aspect.
It did. That's why the fighting had to be so much flared up and better, so you could overlook it, or you could just kind of be like, okay, the acting hits different when the fights and the action, the story, everything else is on point. You don't even focus on the acting that much. You're almost kind of waiting for the next big thing to go down.
Right, exactly. Yes.
That's feel like that's how power benefits to me. Like, if we're talking about shows that, you ain't got a bunch of the great actors, but the pacing and everything just keeps going where you overlook it. Might have plot holes or whatever, but you're enjoying it. Like I felt like I didn't really, with Wu Assassins, I didn't really enjoy it like that. Like, at first I was enjoying it, but around after the 4th episode, I felt like it was almost a chore.
Yes.
I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah, basically you're just waiting for the fights to happen, and they would be good, and then after that, it would just, go on. So,
yeah, like blase bullshit story. Like, well, one redeeming character I did like was Zan.
Yes.
I thought she was a raw ass character in the show. That's what I'm saying. The show had potential. Like, you know, you had raw characters, but
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
feel
you
like
had
they played out well. Like, the Zan character kind of just fizzled out to me.
I mean, you had Mark Dacascos, who played one of the characters. I mean, I don't want to really spoil it, but he plays a character in there, and he did his thing. And then Byron Mann, of course, who played the antagonist. You know, and which thing we just mentioned. So yeah, like, I mean, the martial artists in this, they weren't lacking for martial artists in this film. Like, it's just,
But they couldn't just bring out the best. Like, they couldn't bring out the best of the fantasy power elements. They couldn't bring out the best of the martial artists. Like, to me, honestly, if I was to look at this show and say the MVPs who really kind of saved this show, it gotta be Catherine Winnick, you said?
yeah, with Catherine Winnick, you know, Queen Lagatha. If I'm about
And Zan kind of saved the show too.
Right.
Other than that, everybody kind of just, you know, their moments kind of came and went.
Yeah, like they had moments here and there, but it just wasn't consistent throughout the whole series.
Yeah, it's like, it's just everybody kind of came and went. You know, people have potential, but it's not utilized. Like,
Exactly.
and you know, it almost seemed like they didn't know what kind of villain they wanted to have. And I felt like, you know, that's what the show feels like. A lot of stuff that you expected to happen, or you know, it was leading up to it, you were just let down. Like, you didn't have no big payoff. Like, you didn't have that big, you know, climactic battle either.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's nothing I wanted to make light of before I forget. Like, the ending. The ending was just like, that's it? Really?
Yeah, like it was just so much of a, you know, passe ending. Like, it was just like, you knew it was coming and it happened, but you're like, yeah, that's literally like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
like somebody hyped up a restaurant and then you finally go there and then you're like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great either, but that's it.
Yeah.
And then someone says, yo, but did you try the cheesecake? And you're like, yeah, I did. And they're like, oh. And then you still say that's it again?
Yeah. Yeah. The ending could have could have used some actual work. I mean, they could have really tightened it up. Like, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if it's actually a legit cliffhanger for next season, because it was so.
They did kind of set it up like that, though.
Yeah, but just the way that the final scenes were just like, it seemed like it wrapped up to me, but who knows?
Nah, because they left one element unopened, you know, the whole Zan, you know, the triad.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah.
So it gives you the feeling that it could be a season 2, and there should be. Like, if you're following the story and all that shit, it kind of feels like, yeah, it need to be a season 2, because that was a big little conflict that was in there in the whole story. But after watching the show, I honestly don't care about seeing a season 2. And if one came, I don't think I would watch it.
Well, I will watch it just to see maybe if they improved on it. Cause I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the story runners and stuff like that, they're probably reading some of the stuff on it. So I'll be wanting to see if they maybe improve it, because like
yeah, I mean, I get your point, but if I did watch it, it would feel like a chore. Like I would feel like.
Let's put it. I'll watch it first, and if I think it's on point, then I'll tell you if it's on point.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, but you know, shit. I got, you know, I want to see it on some early shit too, you know.
Word. Yeah, because I mean, because you know, sometimes I have to wait like a weekend or something just to binge all through these episodes.
Yeah, because the show was not good enough to binge. Like, me, honestly, like, it took me about the whole week to watch it. Like I'll see one episode, you know, do whatever I gotta do, the next day come. I think the most episodes I might see is 2 in a day or something. Like,
well,
it wasn't one of those shit you just had to finish. Like, oh my god, like.
Well, I mean, it depends, because it's just like sometimes I just have other shit going on. So I'm just like, if I have a weekend where I could, and of course, I am a person who does not sleep for very long. So sometimes I'll be waking up and like, okay, let me just turn the TV on Netflix, and bam, you know, that's when the binging begins. So That's what I mean. If I can finish it in a day or a little bit into tomorrow, hey, that's great. You know, I move on to something else.
Yeah, but if the show is good, it doesn't feel like you're even putting any effort to watch it. You're like, it just boom, the time just flies. Like I don't feel like I got that with this show. Like me personally, like there's a bunch of shows I could put ahead of this. Like I enjoy like when Punisher season, not Punisher, no, Daredevil season 1. You know, that was one of those shows you may have only could see one episode a day, but you was like, damn, fuck, I wish I could see the next one right now. Like every episode came and you just was like, oh shit, like you was into it. Like you could, if you binged it, you was lucky to binge it. Like you wanted to. Season 2 was the same way. There's other shows like fucking Spartacus was another one. Love that series. Like, that's top 10. Right. You know, every episode was good. You could pick any random Spartacus episode and enjoy that shit. Well, I mean, everything was always done in a way where you got good story, good dialogue, good action.
And then the first Spartacus season was probably the first one where it went from something that was complete trash to an absolute GOAT level series within one season. I mean, that's very rare.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I'm one of those people who I loved every episode. I didn't see it as trash. Like, I knew the Spartacus storyline. I knew it had to get to where it was gonna go. So, right. So I like the earlier episodes because there was a lot of shit talking and dialogue that I feel like goes unappreciated.
I think it was just a little bit too dialogue heavy. I think it was a little slow to me. That was the reason why. Until it started picking up on the depravity and the violence, and then obviously that's what it got known.
You see, but I ain't gonna lie, I like watching those the ancient Roman culture and all that shit. Like the dialogue, because Spartacus dialogue was like one of his strong points, and that's another thing that Wu Assassins was lacking.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of struggling on the English. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a lot of shit was just average. It didn't have a lot of strong points, and for that cast and for the story, you expecting to see some shit get knocked out the ballpark. Like you see how we were saying with Spartacus, the dialogue was strong. Mm-hmm. That's clear. That's A marks. Action A marks. Plot A marks. You know what I'm saying? With Wu Assassin, you're like, okay, fighting 6.5, maybe 7. Acting 5. Plot 6.
Yeah. It was yeah.
Nah, it's a struggle. Like, you know, I mean shit, and we're talking about Netflix shit, and I'm not even gonna bring in other shows that we talking about pure Netflix shows and shit. Last Kingdom was better than A Wu Assassins to me.
Damn.
What, you put Wu Assassins over Last Kingdom?
I mean, I never finished Last Kingdom. That was the thing too.
The fuck out of here, man. Last Kingdom was raw. Like, hold on, like Wu Assassin, like, nah.
Let's put it this way. I mean, I was gonna compare this series to another series I was gonna start watching on Prime. What was it, The Boys or whatever? Because I keep on hearing so much about it. I think probably that'll probably be the best series to compare it with, because it's the same.
I mean, if it's an action series, I'm comparing that motherfucker.
Oh,
it's on Netflix. I'm comparing it. Like,
trust me, it is. The Boys is definitely an action series. It's
because I put both seasons of Luke Cage over Wu Assassins.
Damn.
Yeah, Wu Assassins is like, okay, fuck it, it's review time. It's score time.
And that's serious because Luke Cage is. I mean, what Luke Cage's fighting was not, great. That was almost.
But it had the show had other strong marks, like
like the story. Yeah, the story and the characters were strong. The fighting was not.
The supporting characters, the music, like the music on Wu Assassins was trash for the most part. Yeah, like, they was playing the most weirdest shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, y'all niggas wildin'. Like, nah, man.
Like, it should have been either some epic martial arts type of music, or if they're gonna make it contemporary, like, find something that'll get niggas hype. Well, I think they had DMX and they played some DMX songs in this thing.
They had maybe out of a whole 10 episode series, they had maybe 2 or 3 songs are times where you was like, you know, the music was cool, and that's not enough times for a whole 10 episode series, especially when you got, you know, you got shows like Spartacus where the music is epic every fucking episode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta hit some fucking damn, you gotta hit some high numbers, man. And Wu Assassins was just too average every time out with the shit you give it. Like since we a boxing show, I'm gonna put it like this: Wu Assassins is that kid that comes from a 2-parent household, you know. And I say 2-parent household, both his mom and dad still love each other. So let's get that out the way. A loving 2-parent household. Both parents have a career. You know, they're, you know, pictured an actual middle class family, you know. And the kid wants to learn the box, so the dad sends him to, he's able to pay and send him to fucking Crunk Gym, my nigga. Not only that, he's able to, anytime the kid wants supplies, the dad gets him the best supplies.
Basically, you're talking about Marco Antonio Barrera.
Huh?
I said basically you just described Marco Antonio Barrera.
Well, now, see, but where I'm going with this is this. On one end, he could end up being Marco Antonio Barrera if he goes hard at it, and, you know, or on the other end, he could end up being Wu Assassins if he just shows up. If he doesn't go home and shadow box in the mirror or do any extra things, doesn't really, you know, you're giving him so much. You're giving him a great gym full of experts. You're giving him the top equipment. Whenever there's an amateur tournament, you're putting gas money so he could travel. Shoot, you're doing everything right. You're supporting it, and you know he got some talent there, but it's just he's not working on it enough where you're getting the best out of it. And that's what I felt like Wu Assassins. It's like you got some good elements. You know, you got Eco, you got Lagatha, you got some people we never heard of. You got Zan, you got Uncle Six. You got some names in there. You got some characters. All right, we got some cool powers. Okay, but somehow y'all don't really make that pop. Yeah, so we don't get Marco Antonio Barrera. We get, let me see. Hold on, we get Jorge Paz Jr. Jorge Paez Jr. Yeah. Or we get Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. No, not even that.
We get Pino Cuevas Jr.
You said who?
Pino Cuevas Jr.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, but I'm saying is like you like, and the thing is like I know the Barrera. You know, you're talking about all-time great potential. Maybe he ain't have to have all-time great potential because the shows that we're comparing it to, I'm not gonna. Luke Cage is a better show, but I'm not gonna say that's an all-time great show.
Right.
And it's not even fucking with Luke Cage, and Luke Cage is, I'm critical of that shit.
Right.
Like it's literally like it's like Iron Man with a with better fighting.
So LB, so out of 10, what would you give Wu Assassins?
Wu Assassins is like a 6 to me.
Right, I can see that.
Like I couldn't give it higher than a 6.5. Like it's not even a 7. Like when you know, and I'm only comparing it to action shows. You know, it's not like I'm saying okay, yeah, you know, it's better than damn Full House or some shit. Or The Smart Guy. Nah, nigga.
Word.
You know how people, even with rap, people be like, oh, well, you know, Gucci Man and Nas are 2 different rappers. Like, nigga, they rhyme on beats, right? Fuck. I'm like, hold on. So with all them other shows, it's like, hey, them niggas throwing punches, right? Them niggas throwing fireballs and shit, right? Or a battle axe or something. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's just a fucking 6. Do I recommend it? If you're an Eco fan, I say, yeah, fuck it, watch it. If you're not, I'll say watch something else.
Right, yeah. I mean, Eco, like I said, because Eco has been part of better movies and stuff like that, where, we fully recommend it. This one is, as I mentioned before in the beginning, if you're a fan of the Raid movies, you're a fan of Eco, then, then watch it just to see, just if you want to see some...
you could throw some support his way. Even if you're a fan of Lagatha shit, if you might want to, because she has some great moments in the show, too.
Right.
So what was your score, bro?
My score, I think 6 would probably be a good one. 6. I was thinking about 7, but really, if it's a 7 or above, then I have an urge to at least rewatch an episode. I may have, you know what? I'll put it to 7. Only because I may have, not.
And
really,
those episodes you watch are either going to be the first or the second one.
or if anything, just to actually, let's say, YouTube some of the actual fight scenes, like the one in the diner. I was clapping my hands during that whole because I was like, that was some ass whooping going on in that damn scene.
That's the thing. The other characters in the show had good fight scenes as well, so it's not like Eco was set up to steal the show or whatever, because he has his shine. But that's the thing. The show, that's one plus I'll give the show. It was able to spread out everybody's moments. Like, you really felt like you watched like a team type of show. Like it's definitely like it was done in a way like how Defenders should have been done.
Right.
That's one way. Like, yeah. Like, they kind of gave everybody shine, even though one guy's the main star. So it did good on that. It just they couldn't execute anything else. Like, trash.
Yeah. So yep, bottom line is mildly recommended if you're a fan of the Raid movies and that Star.
You said mildly.
Or recommended, or if you're not, then I would say, hey, maybe watch an episode and just to gauge your interest. If it doesn't hold you, then just keep it moving, something else. But and like I said, hopefully, it's not as. First I didn't think I thought the end was not as open-ended as LB thinks, but hey, if it is, if a season 2 does happen on Netflix, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that ending was trash. You gotta think about it. Look, I'm used to GOAT season finales. Like, I'm used to Spartacus, Wire, them type of season finales. Like, yeah, not this shit.
Right, so yeah, like I said, it was interesting to get through and whatnot, but yeah, ultimately it suffered from a lot of different things, story, pacing, plot, all that stuff.
The Warrior is a better show.
Yes.
From Cinemax.
Yes, I did see that because I remember my brother told me about it. I was like, oh, and I saw it and I liked it, but I never really said anything about it. But yes.
Wow, what? To me, the Warrior shits on this show. The only thing Wu Assassins has over the Warrior is Eco. It has the bigger names, so the fights are going to be certain fights are a little better. But as far as the plot, show, characters, acting, all that shit, Warrior is way better. And the villains, all of that shit, like, and the way shit was set up for the next season, and the way, just infinitely a better show, bro. Like I enjoyed the hell out of Warrior. Like, each episode I was like, I had to see the next one. Like, you really went, and I enjoyed the fuck out of that shit. Yeah.
Word.
Wu Assassins, wow, y'all got some work to do, man. Like, y'all came through with the PBC effort. Like, damn, like I just compared like an old school Don King card with Trinidad and everybody fighting on that bitch. Terry Norris, Christy Martin.
And that's serious.
Like all these motherfuckers, like, oh man, but yeah. So if y'all looking for a good martial arts show, the Warriors out there, y'all definitely fucks with that. If you looking for a martial arts show, then Wu Assassins out there.
Yeah, that's real talk. So yeah, I mean that is our show for tonight. Final thoughts, P. You have any final thoughts? Because I know because P didn't see the show yet, so I mean he's just taking this all in and whatnot. I'm talking about.
I'm taking all this in. I'm about to watch it, and I'll come to my own conclusions, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. Fucking LB's making me think that I'm not gonna enjoy it, but
right.
LB low key took a dump, but like he didn't want to take like a full dump, just like yeah.
Because I mean, this is the thing. Y'all know my grading scale for shit is hard. Like if something's good, I give it praise. I fucks with it. But if I feel like something should be better than what it is, then I'm gonna go in. And I feel like Wu Assassins should have been better than what it was. That's at the bottom. At the end of the day, that's how I feel. Like I feel like even if the fighting was better, that would have stepped up the show. If the action and pacing, because sometimes you'll have whole episodes go and you'll have like maybe one fight scene.
Okay, that's not gonna do it for me. Like I'm gonna need to fight it. Yeah.
So that's the shit I'm talking about, where the show kind of hits its snag, especially during the middle, whereas all the other shows I'm naming, they never really hit a snag, and if they did, they had other stuff to keep you interested.
Hopefully when I watch, I enjoy somewhat of the fighting scenes. I'm not expecting Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Have you seen The Warrior?
Bits and pieces.
Oh, okay, yeah. You'll enjoy that show a lot more if you're talking about story and fighting, and then the characters.
Definitely. I will overlook a lackadaisical story if the fighting scenes are good enough. But you can't have both.
I'm the same way.
You can't have. If you're gonna give me a lackadaisical storyline and so fighting scene, then it's kind of a dub.
Yeah. Especially when you got the hottest martial arts in the world right now. Just how like that one movie, when they put Iko, Scott Adkins, Michael J. White,
Triple Threat.
The Umbach nigga. Yeah, Triple Threat. That shit was trash.
Yeah, that was trash.
Yeah, I mean,
you put the fucking Avengers in the movie and y'all couldn't save it.
Yeah, I mean that we don't even talk about that movie. Do what we want to.
Yeah, and MJW couldn't do that one justice.
Now you see all those names you put in that movie compared to a movie like, let me see, Skin Trade, where you got Dolph Lundgren, Michael J. White, and I think Tony Jaa's in that.
Yeah, he is.
And that's a way better movie than Triple Threat. Even the fights at the end are damn good. Well, with Tony Jaa and Michael J. White, so yeah, like I'm just, and I'm not even saying that's a classic movie, but it's a solid ass 7.5 type of ass movie.
Facts.
It's an 8. No, definitely shit. If y'all ain't see Skin Trade, fucking see that shit.
Facts.
Okay, will do.
So, P, do you have any more final thoughts?
Nothing else. Just long live Ring Gang. Follow all the Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, subscribe to the website, everything.
Yes, sir. LB, final thoughts?
Ringgangradio.com. Y'all be on the lookout. We got more bars and boxing on the way, more articles. I'm at the get behind the pen again. I don't know. Y'all gotta drop some comments to see what y'all want to talk about. There's more shit on the way. Y'all just hit up ringgangradio.com. Y'all subscribe, YouTube. Be on the lookout for some more bars and boxing videos. That's pretty much it. I'm talked out. These niggas woke me up for this Alvarez Laura podcast. So, yeah, I had to get warmed up.
Word. And
So,
like I said,
and add this shit on War Assassins.
yeah, exactly. The Wolf Assassins, spark.
Trust me, I'm saving somebody a week worth of damn watching a show. I'm telling you that right now. Like, I'm telling y'all that now. Like, so, yeah, that's all I got to say. Ringgangradio.com. Oh, Goat Artist album available on all streaming platforms. Shutterworth, y'all go cop that, get that.
Word.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like I said, same thing. Like Ring Gang Radio. Check everything. Our website, our YouTube, our podcast platforms. Like I said, stay tuned. For obviously, I have a prediction video I'm working on. As much for Forgotten Fades. Almost done with that. And hopefully, prepping for a trip to MSG next month for the Devin Haney card. So, we'll see a lot of things going on. It's very busy, whatever. So, yeah, like I said, stay tuned. Just check our Instagram, check our Twitter, for any updates, or if you just want to see something like, a knockout video every now and then or whatever. So for myself, Patscorpio, the New England representative, for LB, Shutterworth da Gawd, Goat Artist, for King P, Bodega Boxing. This was another episode of Ring Talk, Real Talk, where as always, if shit's real, we talk about it. And we will, until next time, peace.